YouTube. How's it going? What are you doing? Right before I clicked go live, a weird thing popped up on my StreamYard. Trying to get it to go away. How do I get back to my comments? Of course, I do that the moment I click live. There you go. Awkward. How was your day today? Happy Thursday. Did you have a good day at work? Today, I walked to the office. I worked at the office for the morning. On the way there, I got some McDonald's for breakfast. It was very good. Then I walked home and we got our flu shot and our COVID booster. And now I'm streaming and I'm really excited. And I'm happy to be here. Lori said, can't be here. I will try to catch the replay. No worries, Lori. Thank you for letting us know. My throat's already feeling weird. It always happens. I'm fine all day and then I'm on stream and my throat's suddenly off. But today I'm drinking, what is it called? Rubicon Exotic Sparkling Dragon Fruit Beverage. Of course, you can't see it. There you go. You see it? If you were here a while ago, I don't remember when, we talked about a snack box I get, and this came in my snack box this month. Anastasia's here. Hello, Amanda, PH actress, and Gary. Woohoo! Today I'm excited to talk about a training from MLM for CEOs. CEO. He's a CEO of MLM for CEOs. His name is Richard Sletcher, and he's telling us about how to bootstrap our MLM. And I'm just going to share my screen so we can know what bootstrap means before I go into the details of this video. Okay, I just typed in bootstrapping up top, and this is what it means. Bootstrapping is a term used in business to refer to the process of using only existing resources, such as personal savings, personal computing equipment, and garage space to start and grow a company. What do you mean by bootstrapping? It's the process of building a business from scratch without attracting or with minimal external capital. I'm going to mute my microphone for a second and cough really loud. 1 second. So we know what bootstrapping means. And so this CEO, this MLM for CEO's friend, Richard Sletcher, is telling us about how we can start our own MLMs with very little to no external capital. And he's going to go through different parts of MLM. So this one's choosing the right product. And then if we have time, we can listen to the compensation plan one too. So it's just showing future MLM founders about how to plan different parts of their MLM business. Hello, listening from the road. Hello, Mr. Ranger Lab. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. And the playback speed is 1.25 speed because he talks a little bit slow. Okay, I'm ready.
Hi, welcome back to MLM for CEOs.
Okay, he's sounding way fast. He didn't sound this fast before. Maybe I shouldn't play at 1.25. Let's give him a chance.
Segment, we are talking about bootstrapping, and I want to talk to you about the product because part of bootstrapping your business is having the right product in play. Now, it doesn't matter what product you've got, okay? I've seen MLM companies succeed on a variety of products across an entire spectrum.
He's right. It doesn't really matter what product. You just need to be able to convince enough people to sell said product, right? You need to have a few big leaders at the tops of other companies come over, they bring their teams, and then those people are able to convince others to sell the product and bring... My goodness, those people can convince others to sell the product and recruit a huge team as well. So it is funny, right off the bat, he's saying it doesn't really matter what the product is, but he's going to say later how important it is to be really passionate about the product, to just fall in love with the product. And I disagree. It just needs to be a product that one can convince others that they need, that product can help them meet their emotional needs, their mental health needs, their financial needs, their desire for adventure. You just have to convince people that it's going to help them.
fundamentally, there are three kind of products that you can bring on board. You've got your digital products. That's things like training and apps or computer software or music or whatever. Maybe things like insurance policies, legal aid. So there's a whole part of your physical products, and there's a range of.
So digital products. So Beachbody has digital products. They have their workout programs and their super blocks and their body blocks or whatever. But then they also have physical products as well, which is pretty interesting. Digital products. What other MLMs have digital products? Would iGenius have a digital product as well because it's something that's accessed just online? Do we know of any other MLMs that have solely a digital product? Maybe I feel like the insurance MLMs would potentially be a digital product, but then he's going to say that there's also service-based MLMs, and he uses the example of insurance. So, but then in the digital product example, he says legal services. So I'm not quite sure what his definitions of each of these are. MLM coaches, leaders and coaches never discuss market research, product viability, or demand. Who cares if the product is good or if people want it or if the market is saturated, just sell something. Exactly. And he's going to make it seem like all we need to do as potential founder of an MLM is just find something we like and then it will just magically fall into place. But great point. I didn't even consider this. If you are selling a product that various other MLM companies sell something similar, or there's just lots of similar companies out there, MLM or otherwise, the demand is going to be significantly lower because there's so many choices on the market. And we know in the MLM context, the prices for these products are outrageously high because you do have to compensate various levels of the pyramid. And if there's so much supply out there from non-MLM companies, why would we pick an MLM company?
Physical products. You can go through the internet and ask for any kind of industries, and you can have a look. Every single industry you touch on will have products that you can potentially sell through multi-level marketing. And then you've got your services. So anywhere there's a service, anything from a lawn mowing service can be. The beauty of digital products and services is that.
And then you have a service-based MLM. I think service-based MLMs could also be travel as well, right? And what else could a service-based MLM be? Let's Google it. I should have done this before. I'm sorry. Service-based multi-level marketing. Because I feel like Legal Shield would be a service-based multi-level marketing company because it's providing legal services, but he made it seem like legal services would be a digital service. I just typed in service-based multi-level marketing company and I'm not seeing an example. Does anyone know an example of a service-based? And do you think Legal Shield would be one? There are a number of crypto finance MLMs. I guess that would be digital, or is that digital media like books? His example of digital makes it seem like it's just like a product that you access through the internet. So in my mind, I think Beachbody would be a digital MLM, but then there's also physical products that are sent out. So I feel like crypto and finance MLMs could be both. They're digital and they're also services. Legal services would be a service, but then they're also digital. It doesn't really matter that much. I'm just kind of thinking too deep into it, I think.
That the fulfillment is quite easy. So if you, for example, have got a service that creates websites, that's pretty easy because when the person requests it, you put it onto the website developers and they just develop it. Or if it's a digital product such as an insurance policy, when the fulfillment happens, the insurance policy is delivered digitally to the client. There's no physical paperwork anymore. They sign everything online. So those are easy to deal with. Of course, physical products a little bit more difficult.
Sure, those are easy to deal with because you're not mailing something out, but digital services do have risk too because you're looking at cybersecurity threats potentially. If you're collecting a significant amount of personal information, that could be a good opportunity for a hacker, right, to go in and spread people's like social insurance numbers or their addresses, and your big digital-based MLM company could be under threat of hacking, right? Or you could have issues with the programming. We see in Beachbody a lot. I'm in private groups just for educational purposes. I never use any private content, but I see complaints often about how the Beachbody programming on like their computer or their TV doesn't work. People will sign into the website and then they're just locked out or the videos don't load. So I think there are unique difficulties with a digital based product. And I don't appreciate that he's just making it seem like it's so much easier just to have a digital product. Because if you were to start your own MLM, you would need a lot of capability within your staff. You would probably need to do a lot of digital literacy training to make sure that you have like you're meeting all the legal requirements for cybersecurity and safety and everything. Yeah, same here, PH Actress. I was trying to think about it and couldn't I couldn't think of any more for sure. Yes, ACN sells services like phone services. Maybe that could count for digital services. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, good point. And he's going to go in and talk about how with physical products, there's a lot more labor to go into it. And yes, that's true. You need to have a warehouse to keep all your products. You need to have employees who will pack and ship. And you need to make sure your products get on like their whatever their mode of transport is, like airplane or boat, I guess, depending on where you are, truck. And that does require a lot of planning as well, and there is a lot of space for error with that because like with LuLaRoe, you could have leggings sitting out in the rain and people get moldy, nasty leggings. If you take a long time to ship your product, your distributors could get upset because they're not getting the product that they need to actually run their business. I feel like I'm going to go through like the entire video before we actually let him talk. Hi, Neil. How's it going? It's really nice to see you. We're watching videos about how to bootstrap our MLM business. So this is for people who are looking to open their own MLM as the founder. And he's telling us how we can choose the right product with very little or no external capital or capital of our own to start our company.
Because you've actually got to pick them, pack them, and ship them. So there's an entire process involved in that. And depending on what product you have, you can do an international play. If you've got a physical product with some sort of chemical makeup, you're going to have to get those products approved in various different countries, and that makes it more difficult to get into the international space.
With Beachbody, there were several products that were not allowed in Canada. That's true. If you want to have an international MLM company and you have like supplements or shampoo or face cream or something, you need to make sure your ingredients are approved in each of the companies or countries you want to expand in. So yes, good point. Physical products are complicated, but I still think digital products have their own set of unique risks as well.
But the thing about the product, the key thing, is you have to be totally and utterly passionate about your product. If you don't love your product, there is no ways you're going to get people into your business. So being passionate about your product is absolutely crucial to your success. Now, when we started Acorn Kids, we had small kids.
No, it's not. It's not crucial. You just need to be a good salesperson. You need to make sure you get top-notch top level distributors from other companies get into your company. You need to help them grow, bring their downlines over. You need to give them incentives to grow. So those couple high level distributors are able to grow your company quickly. And if you just like give those people a good deal, you get them to sign a fancy bridge contract, you get them a shit pile of money, they build your company for you. It doesn't really matter if you're passionate about the product. It doesn't really matter if your first distributors are passionate about the product. They just need to think that they're going to make a crap ton of money through profiting off of the financial losses of their downline. It's such an odd idea, picking the business structure before you know what you want to sell. Greed for MLM money? Brilliant. Why would we pick an MLM? Why would we pick this business structure before we know what we want to sell? Because I've said this before, for for CEOs, it's a genius business model because you barely have to pay anyone and they pay you to work for them. It's genius. For the people at the top, it's genius for those who know that the majority of people in their companies are failing. Oh.
had small children, and the products that
He's talking about the MLM company that he opened in South Africa called Acorn Kids. If you've been around on my channel for a while, we did look at this website, but I'm going to let him talk, and then we're going to look at the website, Acorn Kids website, very quickly, just for a refresher. It was probably like a year and a half, a year ago probably, that we looked at the Acorn Kids site.
that we got a supplier to provide us with these products called, we call the products Acorn Kids, but we have things like star bubbles at the time, which was bubble baths with little stars in them. The kids could hunt for the stars. And we had kaleidofoam, which was like shaving cream made from natural ingredients, but that were colored. So the children could wash themselves in red or blue or yellow or green soap. And then we had things like Squishy Wash, which was like a slime-based thing for tactile defensive kids. So there was this whole range of children's products. And if you want to check them out, you can go to acornkids.com and you'll check out all the products that we got there. But
we will look. Thank you, Richard. We will look. We're going to look at acornkids.com. I have a random hair. Stay, move. Okay, share screen. So here's acornkids.com. It's not the most brilliant website we've ever seen, for sure. This is on the Join Us page of the Acorn Kids site. Acorn Kids is home of colorful hands-on bath fun activities, as well as Kids Be Happy sand art parties, workshops, and activity sets for children of all ages. So I can actually see. Find out how you can start running your own Acorn Kids business and bring in extra income today. Take the first step. Sign up as an independent Acorn Kids agent now, and in a few minutes, you'll be on your way. As an Acorn Kids agent, you'll have access to 2 great children's product ranges, the Bath Fun and the Kids Be Happy sand art. So it's not a whole lot of products. We'll look at that in a second. So yeah, it's literally bath stuff and then sand art. Join for 95 Rand. Starter packs start from 95 Rand. No hidden costs, debit orders, or subscriptions. Free marketing resources, colorful posters, free website, and other material to get your events and products noticed. But Richard, they're not our products. They're your products. Set your own sand art prices, buy sand art at wholesale rates, and set your own event and resale prices. It looks like with this, we have to buy our own products, hold our inventory, and then resell it for a profit. But how much of a profit is it? We're going to look somewhere, I think it's on this page, there are the prices for delivery. Sorry, I can't speak. Huge opportunities. You could be running your own team or thriving as a social agent. No experience needed. Low cost setup. Wow. Where's the delivery? I want to find the delivery. I was just looking at it too, because it had a bunch of different options. Maybe join now. I want to find the delivery prices. Because it had different options. It was like delivered to the factory, to a fulfillment center, to your door, and delivering to the door was more expensive. Maybe it's on our product. Maybe it's on Shop Online. And if you watched my join or start an MLM in Africa, yeah, here it is. He talked about how challenging it is in South Africa specifically to get mail sent. And sometimes you can send it to a factory, you can send it to different collection points. And he talked about how in some parts of South Africa, people will hire runners, and the people will run to a factory or run to a collection point and collect several packages for people who pay them to get their package, and then they'll run back. So to a Paxi collection point, I don't know what Paxi means, 75 Rand. To a Pargo collection point, it's 98. A courier to your door is 139, and collect from the factory in Cape Town is free. So it's a lot of, I don't know how this translates. I don't know if 139 Rand is a lot of money, but like that's a whole other expense on top of buying your starter kit. It seems like you have to have it seems like you have to have inventory and then you pay a certain amount of money to get it mailed out. I was going to say something else. Yes, let's look at the products. So this is Richard's old, oh, we're already at the products. This is Richard's old MLM. And isn't the website just brilliant? If DC was here, she would find it so funny. I clicked puzzles. I want us to look at some products. It's not loading. Oh, here it is. Okay. So they're cute, but you can get this stuff anywhere you want. Anywhere. Like, you don't need to get cute kid toys through an MLM. You could get cute kid toys from Walmart, from like Goodwill, Value Village, Michael's. Where else can you get cute kid toys? Here's a green Dino wooden puzzle, 6 pieces, 155 rand. I don't know if that's a lot of money. So there's lots of different puzzles. But yeah, you could get this stuff anywhere. Outrageous. Let's look at one more thing. He was talking about bath time products. So let's look at that. Bath time. Let's see. Bath bombs. You can literally get bath bombs anywhere you want. So you can get bath bomb and bath crayons set 2, set 1. Oh, they're different sets, like different packages. And it comes with 9 bath bombs and some crayons. You can get this kind of stuff anywhere. If anyone watching or on the replay has children, or you had young children, where did you get your toy, your like bath stuff or your kid toy stuff? You don't need to do it in an MLM. That's my point. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry for the delay. Okay, let's keep going.
The bottom line is that they were products that I could absolutely get behind. I was totally in love with them because I watched my children play with them and I watched the amount of fun they had with the products. So it was super easy for me to tell people about those products. I was passionate about them. I loved those products. I could see the impact that they had on my kids' lives. And so it was very, very, very easy for me to talk to people about the products. The thing is, and this is the second part of this.
Were you passionate about the products before? Because you're just saying you're passionate about them when you saw how much your young kids loved them. But you're telling us we need to be passionate about it before we start our company. So which one is it, Richard? That's confusing. Shoppers Drug Mart, right, Anastasia? There's so many fun kids' toys everywhere, and it's not going to be expensive. Some of it would be, but some of it will be cheap.
You have got to get other people to love the product as much as you. Because remember, you will never get your business running if people are just in it for the money. The guys who come along and they're just in it for the money, they come, they take what they can get and they move on. So if you want to retain your people and you want to keep them involved in the business, you have got to teach these people to love the product as much as you do. And that is not a quick process. So when
to avoid people coming just for the money and then leaving the moment they make the money, they need to have a good product. You need to teach them how to love a product. But what if it's a product they don't actually care about? What if they don't like the product, but they realize that they're able to take advantage of the financial struggles of their downline? They really understand how the compensation plan works, and that's why they stay. There's nothing wrong with staying in a job for the money, but we know in the MLM context, there is an unethical aspect to it, because if you're making lots of money, all the people below you have to be losing money for you to be able to find that level of success. But it's just interesting. I'm not sure how he expects us to teach someone to love a product. What if I hate it? And we see people constantly jumping from MLM to MLM, and they'll say, like, they always say when they start in their MLMs that they love the product. It's the only amazing, life-changing product that has ever helped them solve their problems. But then they'll leave and they'll say, oh, I found this MLM that has an even better product. There you go, an even better product. And people will jump from MLM to MLM. And they may or may not love the product. They may have loved it when they started, but then they found a comp plan where they can make more money and take advantage of more people. There are lots of kid toys at home sale outfits like Lady Weekender. Isn't that an MLM too? I think we've chatted about Lady Weekender. You can't teach people to love it. Exactly. It's so strange. So strange. I don't understand.
when you bring somebody on board, You're going to show them your product. You're going to show them how much you love it, how passionate you are about the product. Then you're going to teach them everything they need to know to become as passionate as you about the product. And at that point, you lock them into the business. Now, they might not sell your product. That's fine. But if you do a decent job of teaching them to love your product, they will always use your product. And I've seen this happen in my own life. My kids, when they were children, used these products. And now that they're adults and they've got their own children, they're actually pulling those products into their home and they're using those products for their own. And still so passionate about the products that they're using them themselves. So that is a key part of bootstrapping your business, is you've got to have a product that you can be passionate about, and you've got to have a product that other people can be passionate about. So you've got to be able to teach them to love the product. Next,
we hear a lot of MLM coaches and top distributors say you don't need to know everything about the product. You don't need to know every single ingredient and how it helps people with certain issues. You just need to know how it impacts you and the kind of impact that could have on other people. And no one, MLM distributors do not focus on the products. You will not see people in Beachbody actually be able to explain how certain supplements can impact your health because they don't actually know, because they're not doctors. They don't know how ingredients can help you. You don't hear people talking about the details of how savvy clothes are made, because the products don't actually matter. You don't actually need to know anything about the product other than how to convince other people that it's the one product that could help them, that could like solve all their issues. And then you also have to sell them on the opportunity as well. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking in circles. I'm going to let it play for a minute.
Next, you've got to make sure that that product can be delivered at scale. You cannot think of your business as 10 people selling your product, because if the business goes, you could easily have 30,000 people selling your product. And you've got to know that whoever's supplying your product can supply enough product to supply 30,000 people on a monthly basis. And when you sign the agreement with your suppliers, whether it's a digital product or a physical product, whatever, you've got to ascertain that this product can be delivered at scale. One of the biggest challenges that we had.
That's also a good point. We often hear about MLMs that have distribution issues, and people wait months and months to get their products. And like in LuLaRoe, once they do get them, their leggings have holes in them, or the designs are shitty, or like with Beachbody, the mix bike will be wobbly, and people wait a really long time to get their products when there are like global distribution issues, like during COVID when mail just took forever because in the mailing warehouses, there were a lot of like social distancing requirements. People had to wear masks. A lot of people were sick. So it took a long time to get your products. And the global environment will impact how quickly you can get your products to your distributors. There's also so much that's out of your control with how you actually get your products out, because like shipping costs can increase at a moment's notice. If you have to put your products on a ship, like on a shipping container or a freight ship or whatever, the cost of that can go up. The cost of fuel can go up. The cost of putting your products on commercial, not commercial. Like you put your products on a plane, but it's not for flyers. It's not for customers. It's just for products. Those prices can all go up really quickly, and then you're stuck wondering how you're going to get your products out to your 30,000 distributors, your 50,000, your 100,000 distributors. Because like in Beachbody, you have to purchase a lot of products every single month. Everyone is purchasing their Shakeology. Everyone is purchasing their personal volume requirements, and it's a lot. And a lot of different factors can impact how quickly you get your shit out to people.
In Acorn Kids was when the business blushed, we had a 6-week lead time on delivery. And as soon as that delivery started to cause us problems and we couldn't supply, we saw a massive dip in the enthusiasm of our network, and we lost a whole pile of people during that time.
Obviously, because they need their product to sell it, because it seems like it's an inventory-based company. So if you're not getting your shit out to people, yeah, they're going to be pissed and people are going to leave.
So making sure that you can deliver at scale is critically important from before you start selling your first product. You can't start selling and then work out whether you can deliver at scale. That is not the way it works, because literally you can have 1,000 people in January in your team. In February, you can have 3,000 people. In March, you can have 15,000 people. These businesses can go vertical super quick. And if you're not prepared to deal with that scaling, then you can be in a lot of trouble and you can tank your entire business. So you've got to make sure that the product can be delivered at scale. And then
it's always so funny when we hear MLMs brag about how quickly they grow. And it's like, obviously, because people know that to make any money at all, they need to recruit a bunch of people who also recruit a bunch of people, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that companies go from 1,000 to 10 to 50 to 100 because everyone is being sold the dream. Everyone is told you can make $1 million and have time freedom and work in pockets of time throughout your day. Hello, Sina. How's it going? We're watching a video about how to bootstrap our MLM. So, as a founder of an MLM, how to start our business with very little capital. And then PH Actress says hi to you. Thank you for joining, Sina.
then you got to make sure that you've got a secure supplier. Realize they were our only supplier. They decided to just jack the prices up, and they doubled the price on me, literally overnight. I went into order. I said to the guy, I'm under real stress. We are, the business is growing out of all proportion. He said, yes, I can see you're making too much money. I'm doubling my price. And he literally doubled the price there and then on me. And nothing I said to him made him change his mind. And he nearly tanked our business. Fortunately, I knew somebody else in the industry who could reformulate all the products. And we got all the products reformulated, and we then started selling them again with a new formula. But that brought me inches away from being tanked and from the business closing down. So having secure supply is critically important. And I recommend you get contracts in place to make sure that people are not going to screw you in terms of pricing and supply. And then, of course,
why wouldn't you get a contract in place if you say your company was growing so quickly, or even if you had the intention of it growing quickly and you didn't even have that many people yet? You should have a contract. You should have a contract. I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but that's a whole other layer of complexity on top of starting your own MLM, because you need to understand how these contracts work. You need to hire a lawyer. You need to actually sit down and negotiate the contract, because there's so much that goes into it, right? And yeah, this person who is supplying for Acorn Kids just up and changed their price, and there's nothing Richard could do, but he was lucky enough that someone could come in and save him. So yes, sign contract, sir. Jeez.
of course, if the person cannot get things like raw materials, or they have to wait 6 months for the raw materials to come in from overseas because they're imported and they don't have enough on hand, that is extremely risky. Because if they literally can't make your product without either flying the products, the raws in, or getting the raws with long lead times, that creates a real problem. And then you need to try and negotiate short lead times with your supplier. So if you can get a 1 week or 2 week turnaround, you can manage your cash flow very carefully, because you are getting more money in than you're spending, and you can literally bootstrap your business out of cash flow. So scale infinitely, because you've got a physical product. Make sure you've got very, very short lead times negotiated with your suppliers. And then a big thing with a physical product where there's an outlay, try and negotiate 30 days on invoice. So if you can get a 30-day on invoice, that gives you time to sell the product. Because remember, in MLM, you sell the product, you get the money before you deliver the product. So you can actually pull in the cash that you need to pay your supplier purely by trading the money loose with the product.
With this company, MLM for CEOs, I feel like I didn't give a good introduction on it. Maybe I did. He teaches people how to open up their own MLM as a CEO, as a founder. And I wonder, I feel like this is being used as a way to advertise for his services. He seems to know what he's doing, even though he did not have a contract when his MLM was expanding. He didn't have a contract with his supplier, but he seems to be advertising his knowledge here about how to invoice, how to write a contract, the things you need to know when you're talking to your suppliers, the different challenges with international shipping. And I wonder if someone were to come to him for his services about wondering how he can help them open their own MLM, does he actually have the resources in-house to sit there and go through every single little aspect of opening up your own MLM? Would he be able to help someone expand their business to other countries and navigate the different legal environments in all these different countries? I wonder, sir, is this just an advertisement?
You got on your floor. And if you've got a 30-day invoice, that means you've got 60 days to pay the client. You get delivered in January, you get invoiced at the end of January, you have to pay in February. By the end of February, you pay them. Gives you 60 days more or less to deal with the cash flow, to generate the cash flow that you need. So
you have 60 days to pay the supplier, but what if nobody What if no one joins? What if you go through all the legal requirements and you dot your I's and cross your T's and you have the 30-day on invoice, right? So, like you said, you have 60 days to pay your suppliers, and then no one buys your product. And then how are you going to pay your suppliers, right? Mr. Ranger Lab said, finally sitting down. Yay.
Just to recap on the product side, get a product you absolutely love, that you're passionate about, that you really think people will love. Then teach people how to love it as much as you do. Your network needs to be completely and utterly sold on your product. Then make
No, they need to be sold on the comp plan, which we'll talk about in a second.
sure you can deliver at scale. Make sure that you've got a secure supply. Make sure that they can supply you at short notice. Make sure that the pricing is secure, that people can't actually just jack the price up on you, and that contracts are in place to that effect. And then try and get the guys to give you a 30 or 90-day payment plan. If you can get all
What about mailing in the countries too? Are you going to help us navigate that? Because in my video where you told us how to start an MLM in Africa, you explain how challenging it is to actually to get products to people, how challenging it is to pay people who may not have a bank account, who can't just use their card and access their money. You detailed a significant amount of challenges. And are you going to be able to help us address all of those challenges? Or what if we want to expand into Asia or parts of southern United States? Do you have the knowledge to help us navigate that? Sina, that's a brilliant question. Brilliant, because you could do a lot. You could help a lot of different businesses. Sorry, it's not very loud. You could help businesses across the world open up, get their distribution lines set up, figure out how to pay their people, figure out whatever, like figure out the whole process, and you wouldn't have to focus just on MLMs. You could make more money probably.
all of that right, then that is step one on bootstrapping your business. And literally, guys, if you don't have this kind of product, if this is not the picture that you've got in your product, if you've got any product and you think you can go to market with any garbage, I promise you, you are destined to fail. You have to have an epic product to make this business succeed. So my recommendation is go through your product, make sure it is what I'm suggesting. And if it's not, find another product. There's a bazillion products out there. There's loads of people who've got products that they want to sell, that they can't move, that they need a physical route to market. Speak to, just speak it.
There are loads of people who can't find the route to market and need their products to sell. Yeah, duh. So MLM products, they're MLM products because they can't be sold in a store because no one cares about them. So the only way to actually sell them is to have all of your distributors be required to purchase them every single month.
Any industry, go and talk to anybody in any industry, and you'll find that they've got products that you could fall in love with, that will move, and that they can provide you at scale and at reasonable prices. Okay, that's my second section on this bootstrapping your business. If you like what you're hearing, please remember to like us, follow us on Facebook, click that notification bell, subscribe to our channel, all of that good stuff. When you do that, it really helps our channel to grow, and we're obviously wanting to do as much of this kind of thing as possible to help you guys succeed in the business. Next, I'll be seeing you, and we'll be discussing the compensation plan.
Okay, we're going to do that next. Gary said, don't give him the idea. Don't give him the idea of doing this for actual companies, not MLM companies. So the first one was just setting the scene for bootstrapping your business, and I don't think we really needed to do that. What's the next one? I was only planning on doing 2. So comp plan, raising the capital, network recognition, company incentives, IT system, business training. Interesting. We may or may not watch all of these at some point. I just thought the product and the comp plan part was interesting. So we're going to watch this now. I hope you guys aren't dying of boredom. I know this is a little bit different, but I thought it was cool.
Okay, welcome back. We are busy with a series on how to bootstrap your business. And so I'm assuming you don't have the cash, you've got loads of time, and you are going to spend your time rather than your money on getting your MLM business up and running. This section, we're going to deal with the compensation plan. Now, this is a critical section to get right. And I'll tell you why. Is that spend is on the compensation plan. On average, half of the money that you generate goes on commissions. So if you do $1 million, on average, at scale, $500,000 will be paid out in commissions.
Sure, 50% of the money you make is paid out in commissions, but you're still saving so much money because you're not actually paying these people an hourly wage. You're not paying them benefits. You're not giving them sick time. And actually, they're paying you to work for you, which is a great deal for an MLM CEO. And yes, you're paying out 50% of the money that you make. However, that how much of that 50% is going to the top like 0.01% of each of these companies, and how much is going to your average person who doesn't have a team or just has a few people. Oh, Anastasia said it's really interesting. Okay, good. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad I have people watching me. For the videos like these, I assume not that many people are going to be here, but I'm glad I have 7. That's amazing.
Understand, when you're making a $500,000 a month decision now, you can't make it with the concept in mind that I'm making a decision for today with my 5 people or my 5 mates or my sister, my brother, and my uncle. You've got to think about this at scale. You've got to think, listen, I'm paying out 50%. We're running a business. We've got 30,000 people. We're doing $1 million, $2 million, $5 million a month. And half of that money is going out. I'm spending $2.5 million a month on commissions. So when you're doing your compensation plan, you've got to understand that at scale, this is going to be your biggest expense. And if you get it wrong, you are absolutely stymied. The compensation plan, you cannot change. Okay, because when you change your compensation plan, what happens is some people gain and some people lose. The people who gain are happy. The people who lose leave, and you can literally lose half or more than half of your network just like that.
I found that part interesting because we all know what's been happening with Beachbody or Body. For those who do not know, they've changed a significant amount of the compensation plan. They reduced the team cycle bonus, one of the ways that people get paid. For the highest people, it went from, oh my gosh, $18 an hour to 14. I don't know. You can go watch Amy Yor and she can tell you the details. The team cycle bonus went down significantly, and distributors now get less of a commission, and they also get less of what am I trying to say, of a discount. And so majority of people are going to be losing income in Beachbody. And I think for 5-star diamond and above, their team cycle bonus did not decrease, but everyone below did. And so 4-star and below, which is the vast majority of the company, they are going to make significantly less money. And while it's not directly impacting those at the very top of the company, if they're diamonds, if say like Kim Fitzpatrick's diamonds are leaving because they're making less money, then Kim is going to drop rank potentially, and she could be missing out on the 15-star bonus if she drops from 15-star to 11-star. And then what if she drops to 8-star because all her diamonds are leaving, and then her income is cut from like $800,000 a year to $230,000 a year. And yes, 230 is still amazing, but a lot of these Beachbody distributors, they like their husbands don't work now. They buy huge homes that probably have massive mortgages, and if their income is slashed, then they're not going to be able to like maintain the standard of living that they've been used to through Beachbody.
So getting the compensation.
And it's just interesting. It's like you can't change it. And that's like Carl just changed his comp plan a lot and screwed over the vast majority of his network. Sorry, let's let him talk.
Plan right out of the door is critically important. Now, on the MLM for CEOs channel, there's a whole lot of videos about compensation plans. And if you go to our blog, you will see that there's a ton of blog posts on every different kind of compensation plan and compensation element. So my recommendation would be that's a good place to start. Go along there, check out the videos and the blog posts on compensation plan and give yourself a good understanding of how compensation plans work and why they work. The second thing they do, and I know I can actually hear all the MLM software companies screaming and shouting at me, but what you do is you go and find yourself 5 or 6 different MLM software providers. Now, these guys generally have got years of experience in the space, and they put together all sorts of compensation plans. And when you go to them, you say to them, listen, I'm deciding on a software company to go with. But the first thing is I need to know what compensation plan I should be using. And you tell them what your product is, and you tell them what your goals are, and they will come to you with suggested compensation plans. You go to 5 companies, you'll get 5 suggested compensation plans. With each company, interrogate the compensation plan. Ask them why they're suggesting this. What kind of behavior is this driving? How will this help your business? Why is this a better plan than what some other company has suggested? And why you should use that particular plan.
So if we're trying to figure out our compensation plan without much capital, we can just go to MLM software companies like the Sheffield Group, like MLM for CEOs, and use their free labor so they can pitch us a comp plan so we can potentially hire them to create our comp plan for us. I don't like the idea of like people going to consulting firms without like the full intention of actually hiring them just to get free labor out of them. I feel like that would definitely piss some consulting firms off. Like I just spent however long putting together this proposal for you, but you weren't actually going to hire me. You just wanted my free labor. So what do we think about that? And it's interesting how comp plans are not considered just a method for paying out the distributors. It is encouraging specific behavior. We know what that behavior is. It is always team building. You will have the vast majority of comp plans, they do reward sales, customer sales, but it is minuscule compared to the amount of money you can make when you build a team. In Beachbody, you're not actually like getting compensated directly when you recruit a new coach, but you are compensated indirectly by the number of people on your team, by the volume of your weak and your strong leg, by becoming 15-star diamond. But how do you become 15-star diamond? You get to that rank by recruiting a certain number of people. I'm going to turn my camera off and do my eye drops.
Now, that is fundamental. Now, understand, they are going to give you that information because they want your business. So, and again, all the MLM software companies out there, please don't scream at me. But at the end of the day, you are going to be getting all of that information free of charge. And so there's no cost involved. Remember, you're bootstrapping your business. So it's hell out important that we're not incurring costs where we don't need to incur costs. Now, these software companies will give you templates which you can tweak and change based on what you found out from MLM for CEOs. And you can then put a compensation plan together that suits your business. Okay. Now, the key points to remember, and I'm just going to give.
How do we know what comp plan suits our business? How do we know? A million years ago when we did the comp plan videos from his channel, he told us that I think the uni-level comp plan is better for certain kinds of products than others, and binary comp plan is good for consumable products. And I honestly don't remember. I had the intention of doing all of those videos, and then it just really hurt my brain and I stopped. But I wish he would give us more detail. But of course, he's going to say something like, create your plan to suit your business goals, but not actually tell us how to do that. So we reach out to him and we want to hire him to help us create our comp plan.
Give these as a very high level. The first thing is you need to reward the direct sale. If a product is not sold, you don't make money. Nobody makes money. So the product has got to be sold. And if a person cannot make a living with your business purely by selling the product, then the chances are you're an illegal pyramid scam. So what's critically important is that your network must be able to go out and sell the product, whatever it is, product, service, or digital product, and they must be able to sell it. And by selling it, they must be able to generate an income because that is business. I haven't taken $5 profit, and I don't have to recruit a single person to make that happen. So the first part of your compensation reward, if you don't have that, chances are you're an illegal pyramid scam. Now, that's not a problem when you've got 20 people in your business. But I assure you, when you get up to 30, 40, 50,000 people and the business is at scale, and you've got the wrong compensation plan, the authorities will come for you, guaranteed. If they deem you to be running an illegal pyramid scam scheme, the next stop is jail. So this.
Sorry, my connection just got all fucked up. So he's telling us how important it is for a comp plan to reward the direct sale of a product. I wonder, does he mean the sale of a product to an actual true retail customer, or is it to a member of your downline when they buy their product pack to join the business? Because in Beachbody, you can buy your own personal volume requirements, but it's also when people question, when people buy their starter pack with Beachbody, does their upline coach get volume from that, or is that commission? I feel like it would be volume. right? But my question is, does that count as a sale? And there's no MLM anywhere where one can make an actual living by selling the product to an actual retail customer. They all say, oh, look, you can make money. You can make a big business through just customer sales. However, if you actually look at the comp plans, you'll know that that's not true. It's not true. And it could be true if you're just a brilliant, amazing salesperson and you have a huge following with like 50,000 people who will buy whatever product you're using, sure. But for the average person who's not a brilliant professional salesperson, it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
This is not something you need to take lightly. You need to take this seriously. I've seen people, CEOs of companies, land up in jail. That's the worst that can happen. But I've seen other ones where the authorities have taken their car and their home and their savings, have repossessed everything that they own in their lives, stripped them of all of their assets to try and pay back all of these people that they've scammed out of money, not because they are dishonest or unethical people, but purely because they're ignorant to the rules pertaining to this business. Now,
so people have been accused of running a pyramid scheme and their entire livelihood was taken away so they could pay back the thousands and thousands of people that they scammed. But it's not because they're bad, just because they're ignorant and they didn't know the rules, they didn't know laws. And so I think that is a great example of fear mongering. So we think we need to hire Richard in order for us to navigate the legal environment of MLMs so we also don't lose our entire life. I highly doubt that all the people who've been charged for running a pyramid scheme did it because, or that happened just because they're ignorant. I feel like a lot of MLM CEOs, I would say all MLM CEOs know what they're doing, know that the people in their company only make money if they recruit and if those people also recruit, because you just can't have depth. You also need width. No, you just can't have width. Sorry. Just can't have width. You also need depth. So your width, the people that you personally recruit also need to personally recruit a shit ton of people as well. And that's how you make money. And the MLM CEOs know how people make money and they don't care. And they use a product, in my opinion, to cover up the pyramid scheme structure.
Recently, I did a video where I interviewed a lady in the US who does, her name is Donna Marie. She does compliance. And she's got a wonderful book. You can pick it up from that video, but have a listen to that interview and understand that getting your compensation plan right, if you're not compliant in that area, you can land up in a lot of trouble. Then the second thing is what you want to reward is volume sales.
That should be a red flag too. Like, why are there so many opportunities for us to get arrested and lose our livelihood in this industry? Because me hearing that story about someone losing their home and their car and you needing to be perfectly compliant so the FTC doesn't hunt you down and take everything that you own, I'd wonder. I'd say, why is there such scrutiny on this industry? And should I use my motivation, my business knowledge to open a company in another industry? Like Cena said, why doesn't he do this service for general companies? Good question. Why do people start an MLM at all, right? Especially when they know that they could get arrested for running an illegal pyramid scheme. Maybe they realize that the risk, that the benefits, they're worth the risk, right? Like the idea of becoming a multimillionaire through the suffering of potentially hundreds of thousands of people. Well, I'd rather do that and be a millionaire than not even try at all and what am I trying to say? Becoming a millionaire is more important than potentially getting in trouble for running a pyramid scheme. There you go.
So if a person sells one item, he earns X. If he sells 50 items, he earns X plus. So you want to create some sort of reward so that your direct selling side of your business is properly motivated. Then your next section of your business is how do you build a team and how do you reward the leaders of the team? So your compensation plan has to have an element of rewarding the team leaders, the leadership, to show the leadership that if they do train their people to sell the product, if they recruit people into their business and teach them, if they do that, they can make substantial money. So when you're getting these
Hello, Christina. How's it going? Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's nice to see you. So he was telling us we also need to have personal volume sales, right? And all that means is when someone sells a product and there's this personal volume or point value attached to that, they get a certain amount of volume points, and that's how they can achieve or maintain their rank. The issue with that is majority of the time you can meet your personal volume rank requirements through buying the products yourself. So Beachbody coaches will say, oh, well, just get your 90 personal volume, and then if you need 100 for your rank, well, just buy something else, and that will take up the 10 remaining personal volume points, right? So there's no incentive to actually sell a product to a true customer when the commission is piddly, where you truly cannot make an actual living off of just selling the product. And you don't need to sell it. You don't need to sell to an actual customer to maintain your rank. It's easier technically to just buy the product yourself. And it doesn't matter if I'm going into significant debt to do so. I'm maintaining my rank, and therefore I'm maintaining my upline's rank as well. Why am I getting annoyed? It's like the most boring video ever, and I'm getting so frustrated.
MLM software companies, the software providers, to suggest compensation plans for you, you need to say to them, I want to reward direct sales, I want to reward volume sales, and I want to reward team building. How do I go about that? And get them to produce a compensation plan that focuses on those elements.
Well, yeah, you want to reward team building. That's literally the whole point. That's how you are going to make money as a CEO. Or as I was told, Shakeology and Energize will cover that. Yeah, or beach bars will cover the 10 extra PV, right? And Christina, so were you actually encouraged to sell products to real customers, or was it always just buy your own products, right? Buy your products and then forget about it and don't worry about selling to a customer. I just wonder, like, how many people in Beachbody or any MLM, like, do they have actual true retail customers that are outside of the MLM compensation plan?
Now, when it comes to bootstrapping your business, you are going to have to go out there and convince people to fall in love with your compensation plan. What you want is you want them to look at everybody else's compensation plan out there and realize everybody else's compensation plan sucks and yours is the best in the world. And the reason they believe that is because you believe it heart and soul, and you've been able to teach them to believe it heart and soul. So remember, when we talked about the product, you cannot run one of these businesses if people don't fall in love with your product, if they're not passionate about your product. If they're just coming for the money, they're going to see the money, they're going to scrape off what they can, and they're going to disappear. What you want them to do is you want them to believe in the product, but just as equally as powerful is they need to believe heart and soul in the compensation plan.
Not equally as powerful. It's way more important for someone to believe in the compensation plan than it is with the product, because that's how you actually make a living. That's how you actually make money. And it's not a bad thing to be focused on money instead of more subjective feelings around a product, right? And every MLM distributor everywhere says they have the one best, most brilliant compensation plan, the one that pays you in the most ways, that is the most generous to those at the bottom of the compensation plan, that will make you a millionaire the fastest. Every person who goes from MLM to MLM, every time they change companies again, they will say, this is the best comp plan, and this is the best product. And I wonder, how can every single MLM comp plan and product be the best?
Flow of the money. So when you teach them about the flow of the money, you have got to understand the compensation plan better than any other person on earth, better than the people who are writing the compensation plan. You need to really dig deep in that comp plan and understand all of the nuances. You can't have a high-level view of this. When somebody asks you something, you've got to give them the exact right answer. And then the second thing, you've got to spend an inordinate amount of time with your initial team, teaching them how that compensation plan works, and get them to a point where they understand it without any question whatsoever, that they have a deep understanding of that compensation plan, because your leadership needs to be completely and utterly sold on the plan. Now, if you
leadership, do you mean people in your corporate staff, or do you mean the top level distributors? Because vast majority of MLM distributors will admit that they do not understand the comp plan, and that you don't really need to understand, because No one cares. No one cares about granular level of detail. And you can just say, oh, well, when you get to this level, I'll teach you how to look at this part of the comp plan. When you get to here, we'll talk about this part of the comp plan. So it's just interesting how in this industry there's no focus on how one actually gets paid. If you've been on my channel for a long time, you'd remember Ray Higdon yelling at us saying, why do you care how the comp plan works? Just do your job, just sell and recruit, and everything will fall into place. I feel like this is the only industry where one is shamed for asking questions about how they get paid. Back when I was a coach, it was big to get customers because the big thing back then was 3 customers on Shakeology Direct, right? Is that what that means? Paid for yours, and 5 would cover all of your costs. Interesting. Shakeology Direct. So customers who get their Shakeology like monthly shipped to them, is that what that means? So you said it was a big, big deal to get a customer. Interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
Can't believe in it. You'll never get anybody else to believe in it. And when I talk about the next section, which is the raising of funds, the compensation plan and the product are the foundation of those. Now, just remember, at this point, you haven't spent a brass bean. You spend no money on a product. You've just identified the product. You've found the service providers. You've signed the agreement with them. You understand what product you're selling. You understand how the product works. You're passionate about the product. You're trained up about the product. You spent no money. The second thing is you created a compensation plan. You haven't signed an agreement with any of the software providers. You've worked out what compensation plan you want by getting their help. You can decide which of those service providers you're going to run with at this point, but you don't have to spend a cent yet. You're still in the point where you haven't spent one bean, not a cent on anything. You got.
So we're not spending any money on this. So we're probably doing this by ourselves. We are researching a product, figuring out what product we want, being passionate about the product, and doing that all by ourselves while we're also meeting with 5 different software companies and researching the different comp plan options they gave us and determining a compensation plan. We're doing all of that on our own. That sounds exhausting and terrible. Just like that video where he was telling us how to open an MLM in Africa. This does not sound like a great idea to me. This does not sound enjoyable. And that video should have been titled how to open an MLM or how to do business in South Africa, because he was telling us challenges specific to South Africa. But we know Africa is a very diverse continent with different environments, different social norms in the different countries. And what's true for South Africa is not going to be true for Ghana, say, and should have just been South Africa. Oh yes, DS is direct shipping. Also, that was back when it was DVD, so you got a bigger commission off customers more often. Great point. Great point. So when Beachbody began doing digital products, the coaches made less money. Good point.
Your product and you've got your compensation plan run up. Now that you've got that, you can take your next step, and that is to generate some cash so that you can get the things that cost money, like a software system. You know, software is not cheap. You got to find the right software provider, and you got to find a software provider that will operate at scale. So you need cash for that. You can't just take the first guy that comes along. You've got to find a company that's going to provide you with a really phenomenal enterprise level solution. And so that requires money. So in the next section, we're going to talk about raising the cash, how to get some money into your bank, how to get this business cash flowing as quickly as possible. Now, if you're liking what you're seeing in the series, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. Please follow us on Facebook and on Spotify. We really appreciate having your name in our system so that we can actually build up our platform and do more of this kind of videos to help you guys with your business. In the next section, we'll talk about raising the funds.
All right. So that was how the first couple videos of how to bootstrap our business or MLM business, how to determine what product we want without spending any money, and how to figure out what compensation plan we want. And I always find it interesting when I hear people in the MLM industry discuss comp plans as a way to not pay people, not to pay their distributors, but motivate certain recruitment activities that will get them paid. Like in the Beachbody comp plan, people at 2, 5, 10, and 15-star diamond get big, fancy bonuses when you get to 2-star diamond, you can open up your second coach business center, right? And so, of course, that is going to strongly encourage people to get to those ranks so they can actually make real money in Beachbody. However, I think even without those things in the comp plan, people would, of course, obviously strive to get to the higher ranks, because once you're in Beachbody long enough, I feel like you would start to understand, okay, in order for me to make money, I need to recruit so I can rank up, so I can get bonuses. I don't think we really need to be encouraging people to rank up, because that's where the money is. And I feel like people know they need to rank up. I don't know. What do you think? And I've heard some Beachbody coaches talk about the new changes to the comp plan and say, oh, with this new Beachbody Diamond bonus, people are going to be encouraged to get to Diamond. But then people are already encouraged to get to Diamond because that's seen as like the first big milestone in your business. So, at the other hand, people don't necessarily need big bonuses on top of their pay to rank up. What do you think? I'm not really making sense. I'm just blabbing. I love hearing about the stuff from the owner's view, right? It's so interesting. Actual comp plans make my brain hurt, but this was okay. We had heard actual warnings about jail time for running a pyramid scheme, which was novel. Good stream. Thank you, Gary. I remember you saying in the past that the comp plan videos hurt your head. And this is kind of comp planning, but it wasn't like going through different kinds. And so it wasn't like as boring as it could have been, for sure. But it's interesting. He's not making it seem like running your own MLM is a very fun or exciting, easy thing to do, because you need to recruit a crap ton of people. You need to make sure you don't get arrested. You need to make sure that your products get to the places that they need to get to. You need to make sure your suppliers don't fuck you over. You need to make sure that you are able to operate in an international space. And of course, Richard Sletcher is going to be the one who can meet all of our MLM building needs, right? Okay, that's all I have for today. I appreciate the people hanging out with me. I know it was not a usual stream or usual topic, but I'm trying to I know I do like slightly different topics here, but I'm trying to think of like different ideas that are not the same as what I usually do, like just Amway videos all the time, trying to be a bit more creative. So that's what this video was supposed to be. My old coach in her upline left to Q Sciences this week and took their downlines of thousands with them. Wow, drama. Yeah, right? How far can you go without spending any money? You can have a product in your head that you like, and you can bother software companies and get them to give you a lot of free labor, and then that's it. And then you have to raise capital. So you can't really do much without spending a lot of money, right? Interesting. So that's all I have for today. I may or may not go live on Saturday, but I'll let you guys know. I really appreciate all the people here who watched and listened to me today. And I hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.